There is a new patch for Armored Core 6. 30-minute missions is releasing an Armored Core 6 model kit set, and a $1,000 Armored Core 6 tournament. We have all that and more coming up in this video. Hello, I'm Cleric, and I'm here to tell you... Starting off in game news, patch 1.04.1 was released last week. The smaller balanced patch with some minor part adjustments. A couple melee weapons got buffed, a few other weapons got buffs as well. One of the bigger changes was the Wuerger, the energy shotgun, kind of look as a spike at the end. Already had the fastest charge attack in the game, and now it's even faster. I was actually testing this out. It's a little nutty. In fact, I'm not sure this actually is a buff. It actually might be a bit of a nerf. If you're not careful, you can accidentally charge this thing like crazy. You already kind of could before. You kind of can't even more now. But on top of that, they also reduced the cooling on it. Well, increase the cooling to reduce the amount of time it takes to cool it down, and also increase the power of the charge attack. So we now have a proper spike that is a little nutty. If you haven't tried it out, or haven't maybe been a fan of it before, or maybe just kind of avoiding it, definitely try the Wuerger out now. It's pretty good. A bunch of arms got better melee stats as far as the melee adjustment goes, trying to make melee more of a viable option in more parts, although Basho does still pretty much reign supreme in that sense with a far and above advantage in that stat line. The legs got adjusted, but the big one is the spring chicken. All three defense types, and also the load limit was increased on the spring chicken, making it a properly heavyweight reverse joint leg. The defenses are actually better than some of the other heavyweight leg types, and so if you haven't tried this thing out yet, give it a shot. I'm actually looking at making a reverse joint build myself using these legs. Now, fair warning, it still has reverse joint stability, so you will get staggered easier compared to the other heavyweight types, but the defenses are enough. I think it's worth giving a shot. So those are some of the bigger changes. There's a lot more. Link in the description below. In more game news, From Software released an article on their website on how to share and download AC data for Armored Core 6. Now, what's interesting in this article isn't the information itself. I think for the most part, most players have kind of figured this out. But at the very bottom of this article, it actually shares the 3 preset ACs that were available during the pre-show, or shall we say the pre-testing, at select Japanese game stores. Now, at some of these game stores, those of you may not have been aware, in Japan they ran some testing where people could go in and pick one of 3 different ACs and take it through the Infiltrate Grid 86 mission. For those who aren't familiar, that's the one with the clean sweeper at the end, and try one of these 3 builds and see if they can beat it. So actually, what's the best part about this isn't just for PC. The codes at the bottom of the article also include for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So link to the description below to that article if you want add some more presets potentially to some preset tournaments. I know preset tournaments are getting more and more popular, and this may give you 3 more viable options if you choose to run that kind of tournament. All right, now in model kit news, something I had missed from the week before. 30-minute Missions is releasing a series of Armored Core 6 model kits. They released a small teaser announcement on their Twitter and YouTube, but nothing specific was really shown. It is released sometime next year in 2024. Moving on to our first bit of tournament news, Striker Hatasa, thanks to the generosity of some of the community sponsors, is hosting an Armored Core 6 tournament on PC, 1v1 tournament with a prize pool of $1,000. The pool going across the top 8, obviously first place getting the most of the prize. This is a tournament will be run as a Swiss bracket. Swiss brackets are becoming more and more popular, so more and more people get to play more games instead of going 1 and out or 2 and out, which is most common with double elimination. Now, what's interesting about this bracket is that this tournament is being set up what's called a build locked submission tournament. Essentially, you're going to submit your build to the tournament organizer. There's a forum on the description. All links obviously will be down below in the description for this tournament. You have to submit your build, and that is the one and only build you're allowed to use for the entire tournament. You're not allowed to make any adjustments or make any changes to it. That is the build you are going to use for the entirety of the tournament. So if you're going to pick a build, better make sure you feel comfortable using it and something you think you have some advantages on to play across the entire tournament, and hopefully you don't get completely hard counter depending on what you have. Then again, they can't hard counter you specifically. They can't change anything around, just like you can't change anything around to counter them. All the information on that tournament is below. That is on November 18th at 12 p.m. EST. Sign-ups are currently live. Go check it out. All right, in more tournament news, FightingCowboy is hosting a PC, of course, Armored Core 6 3v3 tournament. It's being called the Variety Open Tournament, meaning your entire team your booster, your generators, your legs, your weapons, or even your expansion parts, not a single duplicate is allowed across your entire team. So your team composition of your 3 ACs cannot have any duplicate parts between you, so you all must be running different boosters, different generators, different frame parts, different weapons, different expansion slots. So no double assault armor, no double pulse armor, no triple terminal armor. That is not an option. You have to pick one person for each per team. So this should be very interesting. This will actually cause probably a little bit of force variety across the board. Now you might see some of the same archetypes you've seen before in other 3v3s or even singles tournaments, but this is a 3v3 tournament on PC. Tournament is going to be on November 19th at 1 p.m. EST. Now signups are currently live. The prize for this is not a cash prize. What is interesting about this prize though is that each member of the winning team is going to get one of the Armored Core 6 press kits. I myself got one of these kits, getting to go to one of the preview events. They sent one of these out to me. It is a very cool little bit of Armored Core 6 memorabilia. You get, I think there's a dog tag in there. I think you get the hot sauce, at least mine include the hot sauce, yours may not. There's the mug. It's an awesome little bit of Armored Core 6 stuff that you can't actually purchase. So if you get one of these kits, you have a little bit of Armored Core 6 history that you really can't get anywhere else. It's a really cool prize. So information and details to sign up and look at it is in the details description below. Now in our last bit of tournament news, but certainly not least, we showed the PlayStation community some love last week talking about that ladder system going on so PlayStation players and Armored Core 6 get a chance to kind of flex their PvP muscle. Now we're going to do the same this week for Xbox. So Midichlorians over at the AC Fight Club is hosting a $250 cash prize tournament on the Xbox side of games with a lightweight tournament. It's going to be a biped or reverse joint only. These are going to be a series of restrictions. On top of that, you have to look at the description below on the tournament page for challenge. All right, Xbox Ravens, I know you've been waiting for your chance to kind of, test your mettle. Here's your chance. This tournament takes place on November 18th at 6 p.m. EST. Signups are currently live, so if you're an Xbox player, here's your chance to compete for some prizes and also a little bit of clout. So Xbox Ravens, go show them what you got. Moving over to community news, looking at some community information, showcasing the talent of the Armored Core community and its fan base. First, we have AP Doodles with a piece of fan art titled Mission Intercept the Redguns. Now, for those of you who are familiar with or play this mission Armored Core 6, probably understand how difficult that this was the first time you came across it. I know me myself was one of the most difficult missions, not expecting the slog this mission was, and this art piece is a great example and kind of shows the forebodingness and also some of the dauntingness of the task, because there was a lot of things to have to destroy in that mission. Well done, AP Noodles. Great piece of fan art. Looking forward to seeing more from you. Our second and last bit of community news, Nanicut showed off a custom-made ZioMatrix AC from Armored Core 2, complete with light-up head part. Now, the head part did not originally light up, but after completing his custom model he made, the first version, Nanicut wrote on his Twitter, "I made the ZioMatrix myself. My daughter asked me, aren't the eyes supposed to be glowing? I was losing my self-esteem as a modeler, so I partially changed the design of the head and made a 16mm long light that fit in the head." We gotta say, it's a pretty good addition to the AC. It really does make it light up, pun intended. And Nanicut, your daughter, has a very good point and very good taste. Well done, Nanicut, that model is sick. So for our last segment is something new I'm trying out this week that I have dubbed our Armored Core meme of the week. Here is this week's meme, courtesy of user K_urine from the Armored Core subreddit, and here it is. I thought given the recent buff to the Wuerger, and though I must admit this is one of my favorite weapons, so I might be a little biased on this meme, which is why I might have picked it, but I also thought given the recent buffs and changes, I thought it was very fitting, and yes, this weapon definitely does give off some major Gundam Exia vibes. That's all the news I have for you here today. There's a lot more news out there to cover related to Armored Core 6, especially a lot of fan content, and not really enough time to cover it all, but if you'd like to submit a piece of Armored Core news, whether it be news specific or maybe some fan or community content, there is a link in the description below to fill out a form and submit it, and who knows, maybe it'll show up in one of these upcoming week's Armored Core news videos. Thank you all for your time today. This is Cleric, signing off.